It's one of the state's biggest drug busts and for police, one of the easiest. More than $200 million worth of the drug ice practically delivered to their door when a van smashed into a patrol car parked outside Eastwood Police Station.
Eastwood Police Station. Watch the white van at the top of the picture. The driver is about to crash into two police cars. One car is a write-off. The driver bolts and the chase is on. After an hour, a police inspector corners the van. He gets the driver and there's a bonus in the back. 270 kilos of methamphetamine, ice, worth $200 million. Police have landed a first, a drive-through drug bust.
Turkish cargo ship Paksoy 1 is more than a week late to its intended destination. Here she is, resting in the calm waters of Tema, off the coast of Ghana. Everything looks alright from the outside, but on board, evidence of why the vessel didn't make it to Ivory Coast on time. The ship was attacked by pirates in Nigerian waters and 10 of its crew taken away as hostages. The others were allowed to stay, but were threatened. Similar incidents have been reported 78 times in the first 6 months of this year. The International Maritime Bureau says the vast majority of the sailors kidnapped for ransom were taken off the coast of Benin, Cameroon, Guinea, Nigeria, and Togo.
An arrest in the murder of that 21-year-old Ole Miss student. One of her classmates is now behind bars. Marcus Moore is on the University of Mississippi's campus with all the latest. Good morning, Marcus.
Cecilia, good morning. Police had been tracking their suspect, his description shared across the region, and he was taken into custody about an hour and 20 minutes from the campus in Memphis, Tennessee. This morning, 22-year-old Brandon Thiesfeld is in police custody, arrested for the murder of 21-year-old University of Mississippi student Allie Costal.
Gas station, Lafayette County, murder investigation, pinging the suspect phone.
These new images capture the dramatic takedown. Memphis, Tennessee police with their guns drawn, spotting their suspect in an Ole Miss baseball tee at a gas station Monday morning, later transferring him to Mississippi.
It's murder, and he is being held in our jail without bond.
The manhunt underway in Canada for the killers of a young American woman and her boyfriend. The investigation taking a surprising turn. Police now believe these two missing teenagers are actually suspects. Matt Gutman has more.
A bombshell twist in the hunt for a killer on the loose in Canada.
The RCMP are now considering Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski as suspects.
19-year-old Cam McLeod and 18-year-old Briar Schmigelski were feared to be missing after their camper was discovered torched on the side of a highway in Canada on Thursday, an unidentified burned body nearby. The pair disappeared just days after 24-year-old American China Deese and her Australian boyfriend, 23-year-old Lucas Fowler, were brutally gunned down on a lonely Canadian road just 300 miles away. No longer considered good boys, they're now considered deadly.
Amnesty International has sharply condemned Israel's mass demolition of Palestinian homes in occupied East Jerusalem, saying it amounts to a war crime. IDF troops razed a dozen residential buildings in the village of Sabaher on Monday morning, and in one instance were filmed laughing and cheering as they did so.
These demolitions are a flagrant violation of international law and part of a systematic pattern by the Israeli authorities to forcibly displace Palestinians in the occupied territories. Such actions amount to war crimes.
The end of one trip and the beginning of another. After traveling thousands of kilometers to try to make it to the United States, these migrants are preparing to leave a shelter in the northern Mexican city of Ciudad Juarez and to return home. A program of voluntary leave encouraged by Mexican authorities.
Between 70 and 80 migrants are leaving today. It depends a lot on the situation of minors, families or women. The people who leave are from Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. This is already the 6th truck leaving with migrants to return to their countries of origin.
Under Mexico's new Remain in Mexico policy, those seeking asylum in the U.S. must stay south of the border as their requests are processed.
The Speaker will find out in October when she'll go on trial for animal cruelty and neglect. Thandi Modise was charged in 2014 when over 50 animals at a northwest farm died. Avu Mdila attended the court case in Potchefstroom and filed this report.
In 2014, dozens of cattle and pigs died on Thandi Modise's farm, allegedly after being left without food and water. AfriForum's advocate Gerrie Nel is at the helm of this private prosecution, and the SPCA says there's more than enough evidence.
When we arrived at the farm, we found probably one of the most severe cases was of pigs having to eat, newborn pigs, and pigs having to eat whatever they could find. There was no sign of food, there was no sign of water. We had huge problems in the sheep camp, and we also had problems with the cattle. So what met us was absolutely horrendous.
From a passing bus in Lagos, the ground view of a Nigerian passenger jet stuck in place.
Thank you, Lord. No tire.
Landing on a rain-soaked runway, the Air Peace 737 with 139 people on board came down hard. Then, as the plane exited the runway, 2 tires blew, the nose gear collapsed, the strut punching through the pavement.
Oh my God!
No one was injured. Once off the plane, a first glimpse of the damage.
I'm thankful to the tire pilot.
He kept talking to us all the while.
Founded 6 years ago, Air Peace flies mostly African routes. On its Twitter page, the airline pledges no shortcuts, safety first. In a statement claiming today, after landing safely and rolling to the runway exit, the nose gear developed a problem and partially collapsed. A Nigerian accident team now investigating.
The door is opening. The Prime Minister leaves number 10 with her husband Philip for the last time.
I'm about to go to Buckingham Palace to tender my resignation to Her Majesty the Queen and to advise her to ask Boris Johnson to form a new administration. I repeat my warm congratulations to Boris on winning the Conservative leadership election. I wish him and the government he will lead every good fortune in the months and years ahead. Their successes will be our country's successes, and I hope that they will be many. Their achievements will build on the work of nearly a decade of Conservative or Conservative-led government. During that time, our economy has been restored, our public services reformed, and our values defended on the world stage.